you. Thank you. So I'm going to go ahead and try to put this live on Facebook as well. So we'll see how that goes. So if you give me a sec, I'm just going to connect to Facebook, maybe, so that others can join us on this loveliness. 1 second. All right. We should be good to go. It's preparing the live streaming now. So I'm Jennifer Prell. I am the president and founder of Paxem Incorporated. We are an A+ accredited senior move management company. And what we do is we provide lots of services. So Paxem is one of those full services organizations that can adapt to whatever client we're working with. So some people just need a few hours of help sorting, and some people need everything. Some people want the sorting, the organizing, the decluttering, the packing, the hiring of the mover, the setup of the new apartment, and staging and estate liquidations and all sorts of things. So we do a lot of services. We do not discriminate for any reason, and our favorite humans are seniors. So welcome to you all. Thank you so much for coming. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen now, which is, you should be able to see it. Can everyone see it? Yes? Ray, can you see it?
Yeah. Yep, I can see it.
Excellent. I'm going to go ahead and mute you now, Ray, okay?
Oh.
All right. So when it comes to resizing or downsizing, we don't want to think as that's just a standard. It's not a standard. You're moving a lifetime of things for the first time in many years. So again, Paxem and me, we've started in 2003. This is all the fun stuff about my background. The reason I started Paxem is because I'm OCD and I don't like messes. And so I have been organizing and packing since I could walk. Was in an exercise class and someone mentioned that they had a couple that were almost 90 that were moving and they could not pack themselves or get their home ready. And I thought, well, I could do that. And so that's how actually Paxem was created, because I like to help seniors. They're my favorite people. So I should say you, older adults and seniors. So how do you start? This is what we're going to talk today about. How do you start the process? Some fears and misconceptions, the 3 Ps of getting prepared, creative solutions, and then transitioning to a new lifestyle. And if you have any questions, we'll answer them at the end because I can't see any questions, or Erica can interrupt and ask those questions. Oops. So the first thing you'd have to do is decide to move. You may not want to move today, which is fine, but you do have to decide to move so that you have some goals. You set some goals from that point on. You choose your new home and your apartment. Hopefully you're choosing smaller location than where you're living now, because you're supposed to be living your life and not living around your stuff. Interaction with humans is important in the aging process. We like socialization, if you will. Objectively look at your living space and then come up with your plan. Decide when you'll be able to move and your timeline from there. Okay. All right, some fears and misconceptions. What am I going to do with all my stuff? I don't know where to start. And I'm sure none of you have thought that, right? I don't know where to begin. I haven't moved in 30 years. If I move, I won't see my friends. You don't lose your friends when you move. You just lose some of your stuff. You don't need this stuff, okay? Hold on a sec here. I'm going to move this over here so I can see what I'm talking about. All right. The 3 Ps, planning, preparing, and purging. It's very important to plan for your things that you don't want. So that could be in disposal, sale, donation, things like that. All right, that's where you start with the planning. Oh, I don't know what's going on here. Downsizing doesn't have to be difficult. Transitioning from one home to another is only as difficult as you allow it to be. So again, plan where you want to move, know what you want to take with you, and then the rest will follow. It's pretty simple. The first 2 things is deciding where you want to go and then figuring out what you're taking. So what tasks do you need to accomplish in your current home to prepare for your move? I'm live. Sorry, that's my husband. That's what happens when you work from the house.
What did I do?
I'm alive right now. Go away, I got it. It's fine. Who are you hiring to help you? And who needs to be contacted? What external people do you need to bring in to help you? All right. So planning, you want to get a floor plan of your new apartment. Hopefully you're looking at Clarendale of Addison to move into. We like folks, we are definitely having technical difficulties. Sorry about this, guys. I don't even know where my PowerPoint went. This is what happens when you work from home. I do not enjoy it. Oh man, having a day. Oh, one moment, please. Let me get your presentation back up. Craziness. All right. Okay. All right. I'm going to go ahead and share again. Again, I apologize for the chaos. Normally it's not this chaotic. Today it is, of course, because we're live. Why not? Oh, God. I think it's Friday the 13th.
It feels like it, right?
It does. And my husband's like, what am I interrupting? Oh, gosh. Out of the office. Okay, so where were we? So getting the floor plan. A floor plan is basically a design using the apartment or the home where you're moving. You look at each space and you figure out what's going to fit from your current residence. If it's not going to fit, it's now time to think about getting new furniture. You also want to measure where the outlets are, where your TV plug is, your cable outlets, your air intake, all of that, so that you don't block them. So if you have supersized furniture, you don't want to take that with you. If you have furniture that's worn and when you sit on it, you hit the floor, it's kind of important to get new furniture so you can get up, right? You want to objectively look at each room. Now, being objective is difficult for many people because it's your stuff and you love your stuff. But the problem is you can't take all your stuff. You need to take the important things that matter to you, all right? So pretend you don't live there anymore and stand in the door of the room and say, okay, what in this room do I have to take with me? What do I really need that will make me happy? Because it's really about being happy, all right? Write everything down. I can't remember anything. So if you don't write it down, you're not going to remember. And then get your to-do list together from your list of items you want to take or not take. It'll help you, it'll help guide you. Before you list your house, you're going to want to update your home. And updates are it can be very minor or it can be very large expense. You're going to want to get some realtors in there to look at your home. Don't sign with a realtor right away. Get 2 or 3 realtors in to look at your home and give you some advice. And if you like the realtor and they like you, they're going to help you. So before you even list with them, they're going to give you some ideas of things you could possibly do to help improve your home. If you prefer, you can also hire a stager. A stager is someone who comes in and objectively looks at the space and tries to help you improve it so you get the correct ROI on your house. So for instance, if you live in a really high-end neighborhood and all of your neighbors have granite, then you need granite. If you're in a neighborhood that most neighbors don't have granite, then maybe you don't need it, okay? So it's really gonna be a perspective of the sale of the market in your area. Hire the home inspector before you list. This is really important. What you want to do is hire your own inspector. He or she will come in. They will go through your entire home. They'll give you the problems and issues with your home and you fix them. So if you have minor issues, you fix them, no big deal. If you have a major issue, like you need a new roof, you need to decide whether you want to replace it or you're just going to list it as is, things like that. If you have a foundation crack, you fix the crack. Then there's no issue. And you obviously would want to use a professional to correct all issues. That way there is nothing that anyone can come back to you on. And then when you finally do list with the realtor, you don't have to disclose the issues that the inspector found unless it's like radon. If it's radon, there is a disclosure form. You must say that you have or have not had radon. It's the law. Make necessary and cost-effective repairs. That's easy. That's things like make sure your doors slide well. Make sure if there's a crack in the window, you replace the crack. If your light bulb's out, change the light bulb. Easy things, right? And then realtors are not created equal. There is a group, they're the senior real estate specialists. And what it is, it's a designation for realtors who have taken special classes. It's a 2-day program. It's very intense, 16 hours of just the education piece. And they learn how to work with older adults and seniors to get them from point A to point B with as little stress as possible. So it's not like just a person with kids moving, because you are moving a lifetime of stuff. All right. This is an important slide in the fact that it's so simple. It's important. It's simple and important. The first thing you want to do is make a list of everything you must take with you. You must take a bed. You must take clothing. You must take, what else would you must take? The things that you must live with, okay? And then everything you want goes on Post-it notes. And the reason the wants list goes on Post-it notes, because your wants list is usually longer than your must-take list. And you need to put them in order of importance. So you might end up with 500 Post-it notes, okay? And in order, you're going to list the first Post-it note. This is what I want the most. I want my photos of the family. The second thing I have to have because I love them is, Erica, can you go on mute, please?
We'll do another quote later.
Sorry, that's not me.
Oh, it's not you?
No.
Huh. Okay. Well, we're getting. I hear someone. Anyway, that's fine. Everything you want to take with you goes on the post notes. So once you're done, you put them all in order of importance, and then you pack in that order. So you pack the first, 20 boxes, 30 boxes in order of importance. So that way, when you get to point B for setup, you start opening box 1, box 2, box 3. And when you get to box 10 and can't fit it anymore in the apartment, box 10 through 30 aren't as important as box 1 through 10. So you should be good. The other items can go in storage, or you can give them to family, or you can donate them. But you can't, fit a square peg in a round hole. You have to fit what's safe. And you don't want to take so much, because then what's going to happen is you're going to have to declutter again, and that costs you time and money. Preparing, and that's called staging. So we're going to simplify your living space. You want to make sure that when people walk in, it's welcoming, it's engaging, and it's not full, okay? You want to open up your spaces so your rooms look larger. You want to clean off all your counters, because that's the high rent district. Your kitchen counters, high rent district. The only thing that goes on there are the things you use every day, such as a coffee maker or a toaster. But you don't put out the KitchenAid that you use at Christmas time. There's no reason to have that on your counter, things like that. But you want to make sure your spaces are clean, streamlined, and welcoming, all right? You want to have more lighting. The more lighting, the bigger the rooms look and more welcoming they look. And of course, clutter. Clutter is the #1 reason people don't buy houses. They can't see through your clutter. They can't see themselves living in your house. So you won't get an offer. If the house is a tear down, it doesn't matter. You don't have to do anything. They're gonna tear the house down anyway. They're looking at the land. But in a normal house, they're looking at everything. They want to know that their items and their personal effects are gonna fit and fit well, and that they're not gonna feel, cluttered. So staging, the #1 thing you want to do is declutter the house. The second thing you want to do is repair all damages and necessary repairs, okay? You want to clean the house, and cleaning is deep cleaning. It's not vacuuming, dusting, and toilets. It's cleaning out your drawers, only putting half back, cleaning the side rails on your drawers, cleaning out your fridge, your freezer, your microwave, your oven, your light fixtures, your windows. Everything's deep clean. The carpets are cleaned. It is a pain, but it's necessary because you want your house to sparkle, okay? And then you want to neutralize and update. And we're going to show you some of those pictures. I don't think any of you would buy a house that was multicolored that looked like a cupcake, okay? Maybe you would, I don't know. But 90% of humanity doesn't want to live in a cupcake. So if you have bright neon colors, if you have zebra wall print, if you have things that you love but doesn't attract the masses, you need to neutralize it. And you want to neutralize it to current color schemes. So the current color schemes was a light gray. They used to be beige and taupes, now it's gray, but it's all warm colors, natural colors that bring in the environment, if you will. Dirty, dark, and dated houses don't work. So if you have the wood paneling in the basement, you might want to think about painting that wood paneling white so that the room looks brighter. Smelly and smoky. No one likes the smell of fish or stale cigars or cigarettes or curries or any strong odors. It's a turnoff, and you don't want that. And you don't want to plug in air fresheners that are really strong either. Everything in the house needs to be light scented, all right? And if you don't have a good smeller, your nose doesn't work so well, bring in someone else. Say, hey, how do you think the house smells? Does it smell musty? Does it smell too strong of flowers? What? Ask them their opinion. Again, we want to fix the damages. People don't like damaged things. You have a hole in the wall, they're so easy to patch now. You fill it with some newspaper, you put the patch in, you sand it down, you paint it, you're done. It's fast and it's inexpensive. Your handyman can even do it. Anything, again, extreme is bad. So we don't want anything extreme. The way we live in our homes is far different than the way we must present it for sale. So, you know, when we leave things out like blankets and towels and dishes and things like that. But when we're trying to sell our house, it has to be clean and crisp and inviting. If you can see from these photos, the one on the left is a little more cluttered. It still looks beautiful because this is not a real home. A real home would show you a lot more clutter. And the one on the right is streamlined. It's got the light on, the windows are clear so you can see out them, brings in natural lighting. It's a warm, inviting place where you can actually sit and talk with someone or read a book. It's a warm space, and that's what you're looking for. I know I'm talking fast, so if I need to slow down, please tell Erica in the chat bar and she'll tell me. Buyers shop intellectually, but will decide to purchase a home based on the emotional response. This happened to me. So back in 2000, which was years and years ago, my kids were little. They were 6 and 3, and I was looking for a new home, and I found my home and walked in and went, wow, it was a nice open space. They had obviously staged it. The backyard was huge. They had a huge play set. All the windows were clear so I could see the really great landscape in the backyard. There are no neighbors, warm and inviting, and I was like, this is my house. We bought the house in 5 days. That was an emotional response. What ended up happening in the last 20 years is rebuilding the house because the builder who built the house did it very poorly. We put on a new roof, we've put in new ejector pumps, new sump pumps, new furnace, new heater, new water heater, new air conditioners. It's just been basically a money pit. And it was all emotional response because I wanted a great place for my kids. It was great for the seller, but for me as the buyer, a little more expensive than I expected, but you know how that goes. So don't overlook the little things. Loose knobs. All you have to do is tighten them. Easy peasy, okay? Doors that don't close properly. A handyman can fix that easily. Handymen range from anywhere from 75 to 150 an hour, and they're very fast and they're efficient, and they can get your list of things to do, your honey to-do list, if you will, done pretty quickly. Doors that are off the track, cracked window panes, caulking, squeaky doors, spider webs, things like that. Your front door, when people walk up, if there's cracks or a paint's dry, it might be a good time to get someone in there to sand that down and repaint the front door so it's more warm and welcoming. Okay, and spider webs, no one likes spiders. Ugh. Or any kind of nest, hornet's nests, or the swallows, the mud swallows, they love to build in corners, but then they swoop down. You really don't want the mud swallows swooping down on people looking at your house. Purging. You
Really
want to start with the easy stuff. So anything. Hello?
Hey, so will this presentation be available afterwards?
Yes, I'm going to have it available on my Facebook page.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
So you can start with the easy stuff. Anything broken, damaged, or no longer wanted. Things that are too small or too large on you. So if you have, you know, the COVID-19, as they say, which Jennifer's getting, yay me, and your clothes aren't fitting, it might be a good idea to start getting rid of some of those clothes. Take a step back and be objective. Again, it's really hard to be objective when you're in your own home. Men, it's easier for men to be objective than women, usually. I have seen men who have been a little bit of a collector and they're like, nope, I'm not getting rid of anything. So it just depends on your personality. But you do have to be objective and come to terms with getting rid of some things, okay? Excessive furniture. We live differently than we try to sell a house. Okay. So maybe you have a great room and you have a lot of furniture there because you have a lot of family. Maybe you have lots of couches and chairs and all sorts of things in there so people can sit and enjoy each other. When you're trying to sell that house, that room has to be streamlined. You're going to have to get rid of at least half that furniture and just have it for a few pieces of furniture. Maybe a couch and a love seat, and that's it. Your TV, coffee table, streamlined. The other furniture can maybe be moved in the rest of the house, or we put it away, or we donate it or sell it depending on the situation, okay? Remove all, shred paper. So if you are a paper collector, papers just tend to have paper babies. And so it just accumulates. Everybody's been collecting papers forever because the government says you have to keep things for 7 years. And then it's 14 years, and then it's 21 years later, and you have a lot of paper. So there are companies that will drop off big drums, or they'll bring up a truck and they'll shred it on site, or they'll take that drum and shred it off site and send you a certificate saying it was shredded. It's not expensive and it's worth it. You don't want anyone stealing your identity. That's not something you want to happen. Donate excessive food and household goods. Moving food, paper goods, and disposables is not smart. You're paying for something again and again, basically. Think about it this way. If you do want full service, you're paying someone to help you pack. You're paying for the packing material. You're hiring the mover to load the truck and unload the truck. Then you're hiring, a company like Paxem to set up your apartment. And all of that, those items have been touched 5 times. So how many times could you have rebought that can of soup? How many times could you have rebought that box of Kleenex? It's there. Don't bring it. If you want to bring it, stick it in your car and bring it yourself, because paying someone to pack it and move it is kind of silly. And plus, people could use that stuff. There's a lot of people that need food right now. Purging. How many do you really need? I have a best friend who has a fetish with tongs. Yes, the tongs, the grabbers. She has probably 20 tongs. Most humans need 1. She has 20. So she won't let me in her drawers anymore because the last time I was there, I took most of the tongs and donated them on her behalf because she doesn't need them. She's a little much when it comes to her emotional connection to tongs. Ask for help. If you don't know how to sort and you can't figure out what you're going to need, or you just can't do it by yourself, get some help. Bring in a friend or a family member that aren't judgmental. Or you don't want anyone to say you must, you're going to, you have to, and you don't want anyone to say, oh, do you really want to get rid of that? Both sides are bad. You need someone who's neutral, who's going to support you in this process, okay? And if need be, bring some wine in and some good music. That always helps, okay? And then decide what's really important. It's just stuff, guys. The important things are your memories. The important things are living well and happily. That's the most important part. The rest of it's minutia, really. Are you going to use it? If you're moving to a senior community, are you really going to make a turkey dinner for 12 people? I don't think so. You don't need the turkey roaster. Leave it behind. Are you going to use your china? If you're taking it, use it. There's no reason not to use it. Are you going to entertain the way you used to with, the silver, the china, the crystal? Probably not. Okay. And then hold an estate sale if you have enough stuff to sell. And that means a full house. Houses that are having an estate sale means 90% is being sold. The value is still in the home. If your kids and you decide to take out all the value in terms of the art, the collectibles, the military memorabilia, those things, and all that's left is general fodder, you have an indoor garage sale. An indoor garage sale is not an estate sale, and you probably won't get anyone to help you liquidate it, okay? It can be donated for sure. We can help with that, but an estate sale probably won't be in your future, and that's okay. It's a personal decision, all right? And I would much rather have the family take out everything they love and want to keep than you sell it when your family loved it. It makes no sense unless you need the funds. You can remove high-end things to consignment, or you can send art to auction or high-end items to auction. Your estate liquidator will be able to tell you what to do with that. We have sent art to Bonhams and Sotheby's and things like that when it's over, $2,000, $5,000. The highest we've sent off was maybe $25,000 in art. And then donate. Donate's a good thing. You get a tax write-off. If you don't need it, give it to your kids. But people always need clothing and household goods. So that's always a good thing to do. Now, help is only a phone call away. There are senior move managers all over the nation now. It's a new industry. Paxem is an A+ accredited senior move manager. And what that means to you is we know how to work with you from the beginning of your move into your new lifestyle and everything in between. We help with the emotional side of the move and everything else. And again, there's senior move managers all over the nation. Moving companies, they're your heavy lifters. They're the ones that are going to get your stuff from point A to point B, but they don't necessarily and shouldn't maybe pack. Packing is, I don't know, it's pretty easy for us because that's all we do. You know, we're very busy packing, but when we pack, we want to be able to pack so that we can set up your home properly. If we don't pack, it's actually harder to set up your home because we don't know how you lived. Senior real estate specialists, realtors, we talked about, home inspectors, handymen are fabulous. I love handymen. And you can get community support. If you have church friends or religious friends or neighbors or family who want to help you, let them help you if you want the help. If you don't want the help, that's okay too. Senior services, senior centers, Department on Aging, townships, other veterans organizations, they also can assist you, okay? Transitioning yourself to a new lifestyle, you need to visualize yourself in that new residence, that new apartment. You want to evaluate your current lifestyle and see what you're missing, or maybe what you want to keep or add to your new lifestyle, and find that location where you want to live. Clarendale of Addison has a lot of activities, and maybe those activities are things you love to do. It might be a great place for you to live. Your new life will include old friends and new friends, and then it's time to enjoy yourself and live. So what we've done here is we've taken an apartment from Clarendale. It's a little bit blurry, but I did my best to implement some items that we normally bring to a residence, okay? There's a bedroom. That you include your bed. There's a coat tree sitting on the side by the air conditioner. There's all sorts of things. So I don't know what you want to bring with you, but if you take your floor plan, you can just use squares and rectangles and circles and just draw it on your floor plan. You can use sticky notes. There's magnet boards. There's all sorts of things you can do. We do have a floor plan designer who can actually do this for you. You basically discuss all of the items that you're planning to take with you, and she will tell you whether or not they'll fit, which is always nice, okay? If you have questions about this floor plan, please let me know. This is an actual floor plan from Clarendale of Addison. Though it is backwards, the kitchen's, I don't know why it's flip-flop, but there you go. All right, I like the little kitchenette. Who wants to cook when you're having fun? Unless you like to cook, right? So the choice is yours. Choose an apartment that's sized appropriately. Now, it's hard to downsize from a very large home to a small apartment. So maybe you want to start with a larger apartment and then downsize again later. I would recommend that you pick the apartment that's suitable to you and your living space. So if you just need a bedroom and a TV area, that's all you need. But some people maybe have an office. They want a separate office from their bedroom. Then you're going to want to maybe think about a sitting area or a 2-bedroom, something like that. Make sure it fits you and your needs. And then you want to decide sooner rather than later. You do not want people to make the decision for you. What we always say is make your plans and then every year plan again. So if you're not ready to move today, what do you want for your future? Tell people what you want. So if you are ready, great, let's get you moved. If you're not, and you want activities in your life and you want socialization and you want to live in a building that's suburban with a nice landscape, those are things you want to know or you want to tell your family. Otherwise, your family's going to make the decision for you and not have input. And then they're basically just going with their gut instinct, and that may not be something you want. All right, any questions? I ran through that really quickly. I'm going to go ahead and stop the share. There we go. Let's see. Everybody's still muted. Maybe what I'll do is go ahead and unmute everyone. You guys can unmute yourselves if you're interested. And then we can talk. Oh, there's a person. Hello.
Hello.
Did you have any questions?
Are the sheets that you had online, are they available to download?
Which sheets?
The ones that give you the items that we talked about downsizing, simplifying, all that.
Yeah, this is available. I'm going to have it available on Facebook after today.
And
I also
Facebook?
have available a retention schedule, which will tell you what you need to keep in terms of don't shred this right now kind of thing. I do have that available.
Good,
If you want that,
good.
I'll post that.
Yeah, yeah,
I can put that on my website as well so that you can download it from there. I'm making myself a note.
good.
Is there anything else anyone needs?
Not right now.
No? Okay. All right.
I've been living in my house for 50 years.
Seriously, that's fabulous.
Yeah, yeah. So that means I haven't downsized in 50 years.
And did you declutter during those 50 years?
Well, I thought I did.
I know it's like that, isn't it?
Yeah,
It is. So, when you're downsizing after 50 years and you keep it up, the difference is you have all those closet spaces and you have all of that extra living space you now have to think about removing. So what I usually tell people is look at what your current space is that you want and just figure out the things you must take with you. That's the most important part. So like your furniture, your beds, maybe some art, family photos, the things that you know will fit, that's the most important part. Everything else is secondary. You can get rid of that easily.
okay. Well, I just tell myself that I bought it because I loved it. And now it's got to go.
Yeah.
Nobody else has to love it. Just get rid of it.
Well, it's lived its useful life, right?
Right.
And
right.
now you're done. That's good.
Right.
That's a good way to come to terms with it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Now, what do I do with 2 closets of clothes?
Well, if you don't want them, you can donate them. If it's couture.
Yeah, that's what I'm planning to do.
Yeah, unless it's couture. If it's couture can still be sold. But if it's regular clothes like we all normally wear, then I would just donate it. A lot of the charities are being very careful right now about what they take. And a lot of charities aren't taking anything right this moment. I know that the Salvation Army is slowly reopening. Home at the Sparrow is being picky about what they take and pick up. When Paxem calls a charity to help us, they know that we've already been in the house. There's no COVID in the house. The items that we're giving them aren't ripped, torn, stained, smelly, full of cat hair, things like that. They know that that stuff's not coming. So when we call, they come. So if you're trying to get a charity to come, the more information you can give them, the more apt they are going to be to help you. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Good, thank you.
You're welcome.
Jennifer, if anyone needs help, can they reach out to you for services?
Absolutely. Paxem has a full team. So we have a few divisions at Paxem. We have our pack and move division, which does all the packing, the moving, the organizing, the sorting, things like that. We have our estate liquidation division, which does the estate sale side and the clean out side. And we have a staging and design division, which does all of the staging and the fluffing and making things pretty. I'm streamlined and functional and fluid. I don't do pretty. I have people that do pretty. So yes, any one of those divisions. So when you call Paxem, we're going to direct you to the right person to talk to who will help you. And they'll do a consult either by Zoom, FaceTime, or they can come visit with you as long as there's no COVID in the house.
Sounds good.
Okay, and just so everyone's aware, Paxem has a very strict COVID protocol and policy in place for our employees and families. So we do want to protect us and you. When we go to your house, we're going to be wearing gloves and masks always. And we expect anyone we're with in a house to wear masks. So if you're within 6 feet or over, but you're by us, you do need to wear a mask. And you do need to keep your 6-foot distance. When we do consultations, only one person can be with us at a time. Okay.
If anyone needs assistance in terms of like floor plans or identifying how big our apartments are to help you downsize, please let us know. We're more than happy to assist you with that. We do have apartments that have full kitchens, so it has your full stove, your full refrigerator, your appliances. So let us know. We can definitely share that floor plan with you. Is there any other questions that we can go over?
I muted most people. There was some background noise there. So if you have a question, you put it in the chat or you can unmute yourself. Now, Erica, are you doing virtual tours?
We are, yes.
Okay. So
We're
if
doing-
anyone's interested, they can just call you and you can set up a virtual tour with them.
Correct.
Awesome.
Hopefully we'll start doing in-person tours by mid-month or towards the end of the month of July, but we'll see. But for right now, we're doing virtual tours.
Okay. All right. Well, if anyone needs anything, again, I'm just going to go ahead and type my name in the chat box. If you need it with my mobile, you can give me a shout anytime. This presentation is going to be on Paxem's Facebook page under live. It'll be under live. And then we will also be posting this to YouTube. So if you want to go back, you can go ahead and see the presentation and share it.
Thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you, Jennifer. It was a great presentation.